Oh boy.
Yeah,
Why
this
am
is
I
gonna be
like low-key
awesome.
nervous?
All right, I think we're good to go. I think we're up and running. And again, today is day one of this fantastic series, and so we're just walk getting through all the kinks and different things, but we are there and we are on. Hey everyone, Teresa Dowell-Vest here. I am with the amazing um, Tiffany Black. Yes, ma'am. That was so good. You had me singing. There's a whole story to that. I ain't go. I can't get into that today just yet.
Love it. It's
Not
a
just
low
yet.
down
Maybe.
blue.
So yes, Tiffany Black is here, everyone, and Tiffany is an actress, entrepreneur. She's a writer, and she's done so many amazing things um, in her just amazing career so far. And when I say so far, I just know that there's so many more things we have to look forward to when it comes to Miss Tiffany Black. I am going to have her introduce who she is and what she does in the world, and then we're just going to turn class over to her. So welcome, thank you so much for being here, Tiffany. Tell us who you are, what you do, and just get into it.
Ha! Thank you guys for having me. I am Tiffany Black. I think it needs to be said. I'm not sure if you guys, actually read all the words on the flyers. I'm guilty of not doing that all the time, but um, Miss Dowell-Vest was my teacher at one point, and I think that like once that relationship launches that way, it kind of stays that way. So like I very much still feel like I'm one of your students, and I can't imagine why she would be asking me to do this, but I'm going to give you guys the what I've been working off of. So yeah, I entered entertainment as an actress, but I've been attracted to words and writing for as long as I could spell. Probably more longer than I've been acting. It just wasn't something I was like passionately or professionally pursuing, I should say, until I just realized that I have something to say. I always have something to say. I always have something to get off of my chest. Somebody needs to hear the thoughts that are going on in my mind. So I need to put them in some type of format that best suits me. And that landed on screenwriting. So I guess like the simple form of it is I'm an actor and a writer, but I'm an artist, and yeah, that's where we're headed.
Awesome, awesome.
What should I cover
uh
next? How am I doing in the pandemic?
yeah, before we get there, tell us a little bit about your background in terms of where you're from, and how did you arrive at I'm going to act? That's what's going to serve me.
So I'm from a very small town in Florida called St. Pete, Florida, where they make it rain in the club. Some notable people that are from St. Petersburg: Marlo Hampton from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the incredible Angela Bassett, the power producer Will Packer, and Tiffany Black. So it's a very small town, but if you make it out, you usually are very, very memorable. Um, I think I've always known that I was an entertainer. I've just been like trying to do talent shows and stuff with my cousins, with whomever I could grab to do something with. I've always loved movies. The Cosby Show meant a lot to me, even though I always wanted the episodes to end different. And I always wondered how their problems seemed to go away at exactly 30 minutes. That used to just like bother me until I figured it out. But I went to Florida State University, and I was like on track to be a news anchor. I was already working at a news station. I was a news producer at the news station before I graduated. And there was one poster that was like in my building where my major was at Florida State. It was one poster in this elevator that I had to take to class to go every day. And it was like this audition notice for this acting school in LA. And I would see it every day and I would think about it, but it would, pass me by or whatever. I had just resolved that I was going to be a news anchor because I didn't know how to get started in acting. I ain't know nobody. There was no, there were no play, like there was just nothing going on. And then this guy that I was in college with, his name is Lamont Pierre, started doing what is now known as a web series, but it was called My Brother's Keeper. It's on YouTube. And this is back when, I'm aging myself, but this is back when YouTube had just started. It was big deal to be able to like publish your own videos and stuff. Wasn't no cameras on phones and things. So when I started working with just that peer group, and we were very serious about this online show that we were doing that nobody was watching. And from there,
nobody was watching.
Nobody was watching it. Nobody at all.
Oh.
But like we took it super seriously. We had rehearsals, we had a makeup artist. It was a very big deal. And I knew after I did that like I can't go back now. Like I kind of know too much. I finished my degree because it was close and I figured it was gonna come in handy along this journey. So I finished it. No, I ain't want to do it, but I finished it anyway. And I had a conversation with my news director and I was like, look, you could put me on air or I'm gonna move to LA. And she was like, I'll put you on air. But it was a nice little white lady. She was like, I'll put you on air. But if you think you want to go and do that, you should go and do that. And I was like, I think you're right. And I had been applying to all these jobs, graduated directly into a recession. And it was like, I didn't get any of those jobs. I had straight A's in college. I didn't get not one job that I had applied to, even though, and I was full-time employed while I was at school, all of those things, like just doing all of the right stuff, all of the internships, all of the right things. I ain't getting none of that stuff. But the night after I graduated, we graduated at night. And then me and my best friend at the time drove home to go audition for AMDA, which is where I was going to trust the students. We drove the 4 hours and we got up 8:00 that morning and went and auditioned. And I sung, get into that. I sung, not a great singer. I sung at the audition. I sung Dreamgirls at the audition. And I don't even know where the monologue came from, but they let me in the acting school. It was like, look, we like you, but you can't sing. You're going to go do the studio acting program. I was like, that's a good call. And that was it. I moved. I had no idea. Like I had never even looked at a map. I did not realize that it was like LA is far, but you don't realize that it's like literally the complete opposite of the nation. And I think if I had even just looked at a map during that time, I would have never moved. But I moved. I thought that like going to this acting school was going to be like the end all be all. And just the more I studied, the more I realized how much I didn't know. But I think when I was in school, like I probably thought I was like hot stuff. Like I can't even remember like what I thought about myself at that time. I really thought I was gonna like just get discovered at Starbucks or something. But when I graduated, and it was painfully expensive, and I feel like that school did a great job of training us as performers, but a terrible job of preparing us to be artists. And the two are a very different thing. And I just have a very hustler spirit. I put myself through college, raised by a single mother. I ain't had no choice but to ride around and get it. So like I caught on very quickly. But I started like writing plays immediately just because I wouldn't get nothing. I mean, you want to be SAG so bad, but you don't realize that puts you in the same working union as everybody that's on TV already. And nobody cares that you were the popular one, the funny one in your hometown. Like that, it just gets very old very fast. So, I kept like trying to audition, got a couple of cruddy agents, probably still got a cruddy agent. But you keep going. And I think over time, I realized that like, if you can do anything other than this, go and do that. Cause this is so unforgiving. It's not how far you get. It's not even like a testament of how hard you're going to work or how talented you are. And it's just not. It's not. And I wish that it was, but like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because that sugar is, honey, it's gonna be gone so
Yeah.
fast. It's not even worth the
Yeah.
lie. It's not
So what
worth the
keeps you in it? So what
lie.
keeps you in it?
I love it. I love I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't wait. I can't wait to turn up. And I give me some sides and be like, oh, I got something for this. Like I'm getting excited. I'm getting ideas. I can't wait to turn up. I love a good show. And I love a good show so much. I'll like go and see Hamilton as many times as I can while they're in town. I'll watch the same movie that I love 1,000 times because for me, it's more important for me to go like watch something good than to watch something new. Like this quarantine content that these people are coming out with, I'm so uninspired. Like I've actually went back and watched Rhythm Nation because I know that shit is good. So I just feel like I love a good show. I love how good content like inspires me, and I want to make other people feel that way. I love seeing people laugh, having people like in a good mood around me, and I cannot not write. Like I just got stuff to say.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many stories that like my hometown is a well. It's a very small town, but it is a well. It's a wealth of like Florida Man. Everybody has heard of Florida Man. And I feel like every time there's something that happens in Florida, it's like literally bizarre. And those local stories hit my Facebook timeline because all of my family still lives there. So I get like an influx of Florida stories and they're all crazy. And I can't wait. So that's all I do is like what did happen at home. And I find a way to, tell a story about it. It ends up in a pilot or a feature or whatever that I figured out that I want to write next. So I mean, I keep going because I'm gonna be sick if I'm not doing this. I've had the other jobs. I lasted a day as a waitress. I don't work at a Joanne Fabrics. I don't got I can't tell you how many. I don't work at a construction company and got fired. Like we can go on and on. This I'm supposed to be doing this. There's nothing else I can't do. So I'm in it. And
there's nothing else I can see you. Could even imagine you doing.
I would be
Why deprive us?
Anyway. Right. I would be acting anyway. You could play like I'm gonna be a newscaster, but it's still I'm gonna be in trouble every week for something.
Tell us how the pandemic, before we get to your lesson, I feel like we're experiencing your lesson right now in perseverance and tenacity and patience, or maybe even the lack thereof, although you've been incredibly patient and have worked so hard. Tell us how experiencing this pandemic has affected you, your work, your mind, your mindset moving forward.
So not much. If anything, it has relieved some stress because I'm not missing out on anything. I'm the girl that will not go home for Christmas because if they need an actress, I want to be here. That's how bad I want to do it. So I don't be like taking a break. Like over Christmas, I took on the challenge to write a whole feature in 2 weeks at the end of 2019. Like I guess like taking a break is like my break is in the work. You know what I mean? So this is the only like comfortable space. Like I know that I'm not gonna miss an audition right now because it ain't nothing happening.
Right, yeah.
So
Because
like
nothing's happening. Right.
nothing's happening. So and that, but even in that, I'm still taking Samuel L. Jackson's online masterclass. Like I'm still over here writing, still had some table reads on Zoom. So like it hasn't stopped, but it is kind of like a mental relief of like, I'm not missing out on anything. But the day-to-day of it, I miss going out to eat, but I manipulate my own schedule anyway. So my day job, the things that keep me off the pole, I manage,
Yes, ma'am.
manage my own social media company. So as long as my phone is charged, I can make some money. But that is by design. I knew I needed a job that was going to be reliable yet flexible. And for a while, that was substitute teaching because I got that cute little degree. But I mean, them children deserve better than me. You know what I'm saying? We was in there having a good time. I don't know how much it was really learning. So I got out of that just because I like it was a moral thing. Like I feel like they deserve somebody who wants to be here, and that's not me. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Um, but yeah, I ended up managing social media so that I could be on set and keep my clients, or not be worried or sick if I got a job that worked a week and be worried about, damn, I'm gonna get fired, is my lights gonna stay on, and just all of that gets in the way of work. So like if I had to say anything, that would be the first lesson, is to figure out like how to live at whatever your standards are. Mine were very low, but find whatever your standard of living is and figure out how to meet that with as little time as possible.
Yeah.
And after that, after you know that you're going to eat and be able to bathe and not be sleeping on the street, then at that point, everything from there is your work prioritized. Like put that art at the beginning of the day if that's what you need to do. Get that workout in if you're trying to be the fine girl. Like just get the things that have to be done out of the way early, because you fight in a battle as the day progresses. So the pandemic is not like I ain't lost no money, I ain't losing no time. I was gonna be sitting here writing or doing self tapes. It's like I just haven't had any self tapes. Like I was excited about having a pilot season, and that has dried up. That's gone. So who knows? Are you guys
Oh,
frozen?
there we go. Yeah, it just kind of blipped out for a second. So tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic. I do have a couple follow-up questions, but I'll hold them for the end after the students. But I'm going to mute the mics and let you just take about 10 minutes to give us a class.
The Tiffany Black Masterclass. So yeah, I kind of went into it already. I would say like first meet your standard of living and then get to your work. Um, and I'm not sure like what you guys are studying per se. I did ask that, but I forget. Like I don't think I got like a very straightforward answer. But like I think my way of kind of doing things is I do what it takes to service the idea. So if that is a script, if that is me being an actor, if that is me having to take a class to learn to write drama writing, like I'm gonna do it. If I need to learn to edit because this editor been dragging me for 3 months about a 10-minute short film, then I'm gonna learn to edit too. If I need to figure out how to do graphics, I'm gonna get on Canva because I'm tired of waiting on graphic designers. So I'm not somebody that likes to wait. And like the waiting that I have to do is inevitable, which is gonna be some level of you waiting, but I do my best to not let my art wait, because I used to think that like all of my ideas were precious and I didn't want nobody to steal them. I ain't want to send no scripts out to anybody because I didn't want them to steal this idea because I may not get another one. And nothing is so precious to me anymore. I had a lot of artist friends who like were self-proclaimed perfectionist. And I do think that gets out of the way. I have learned to get whatever the project is, whatever the script is, whatever the short is, as great as I can get it at this time, and then give it to the world and move on. You're going to get better as you continue. But if you stifle your learning curve with trying to reach some perfection, you're never going to get there, because part of getting perfect and getting better is moving through your failures faster. So just, especially if y'all are still in college, like just let go of that whole perfection thing. The best thing you can do is to like gain an audience. And the first thing that comes to mind when I say that is social media. I don't think it's a good or a bad thing. I've learned to work with it, but I do my best not to let it consume me. But I do think it's a way to hold yourself accountable to do something every day. the people that do skits and my friends that are performers that have like built these large followings because they do these comedy skits that aren't funny, it oh, I said it. It holds them to like giving their audience something and keeping their audience engaged and giving them something to look forward to. They run their pages like their TV channels, and people have learned to expect that from them. And even if it's not funny, I think people are desensitized now. And they just watch it because it's something to watch. So I would say just like if you can find a way to do something for whatever your goal is, like every single day, it will begin to relieve you, and it turns into a way of like making you think that you deserve something. Like, yeah, I do deserve to book this because I've been in acting class for 4 years. I've been going to acting class nonstop for 3 months, like whatever that is. You start to get on your own team if you believe you deserve it. Um, I'm sorry. Are you guys actors? Are they? What are they? I'm sorry. You had to tell me something. What do y'all? What do you?
Yeah, so it's a mix. In our particular program, our focus is more on the production side in terms of building directors, cinematographers, gaffers, the technicians of it all. We are developing a performance arm, and then in terms of performance in front of the camera right now, the focus is so much more on journalism as opposed to acting. But again, that's shifting as we're adding more classes in the fall that are towards performance study, and that sort of thing.
Nice. Okay. Perfect. I always feel like journalism and acting are very, very similar, and writing, because I do still feel like my journalism background like helps because I be reporting live from the streets. So if you write what you say and you're like, you're never going to go wrong. If you write what you see, if you say what you see, like you can't go wrong with that. But back to my lesson, now that I know who I'm talking to. I would say do it every day. I had a friend, his name is Justin Hires. He's a series regular on that CBS show MacGyver. But he said that he's heard Jerry Seinfeld say one day that he had like this calendar, and every day that he actually did something towards his career, he would mark an X in it. And like the goal became, don't break the chain. Like do something for it every day. I believe in like keeping the Sabbath holy too, because I believe in God and all those things. So not all those things. I believe in Jesus. But I believe in like stepping away, but the primary focus is like being consistent. If you take too much time away from a project that you're editing, now you gotta like start from the beginning and like catch your stuff up to where you were last week. And the same thing with the script. If you stay away from it too long, then you gotta like find a way to drop yourself back in. So the more you can keep your own self familiarized and, as sharp as you can, the better your work will continue to build. Um, I know y'all in school and I love Teresa, but your teachers don't be knowing. They know some, but they don't know everything. So,
She
listen.
getting comfortable for this.
So listen and don't. Cause you need teachers. We definitely do. But I feel like I used to get on my teachers' nerves because I asked questions, because I challenged things all the time. I went to the performing arts school I went to was very, very white. And there was only a handful of Black students in there. And like our showcase, this is when Teresa's my teacher, our showcase, I knew that if I wanted any type of story that was like actually gonna have a Black woman in it, I would need to be acting with the other Black students. And I feel like there were 5 of us, if that, like with 4.5. And I like wrote a letter to the administration, like begging them to put us in the group together so that we could like have Black material and it not like default to slavery, like give us a Black story to even to tell. So I think early on, and this is something I've never struggled with, be an advocate for yourself, like usher in your life, like what you need. And I don't just say that like with your teachers, but if there's something you paying for this education, if you need to speak up about it, speak up, because ain't nobody coming for them student loan. Like Sally Mae coming for you when this is all said and done. So get what you need out of it. And that used to be my thing, and especially in school. And I prided myself on being, you know, straight A student of just getting the good grades. But there's something, it's different when you're in this type of like concentrated field. The learning itself is as much of an art form as the art itself. So get used to learning, keep on reading, because the teachers do be knowing, but then they don't. Because if they did, they wouldn't be in the classroom with your ass. So be like, do it. There comes a certain level of credibility that Teresa, you got with me because you actually did go and perform. But I love an acting teacher that like don't want to be an actor, because they're the ones that's not gonna miss class every day either, because they out here trying to go to an audition and book something. But I say take what your teachers are gonna say, but be completely willing to break every rule and get on their nerves, because they are there to serve you. And if they knew better than you, it wouldn't be in there. Will Smith ain't teaching no classes, honey. Why? Because he's busy or rich, whatever. Same difference. Run towards the things that intimidate you. That came to mind when I thought about what I wish somebody would have told me. I was writing the entire time that I was like living in LA the first time around, like the very, very first 5 years. I was writing already, but I didn't know like story structure or how to like write a pilot, or the difference by looking at a script, like knowing if you're looking at something single cam or multi-cam. And I feel like I was just intimidated by it. So I did not like lean into trying to learn. And by the time I did, I just felt like I could have been so much further along if I had just surrendered to it earlier. So the things that like scare you and intimidate you, you might as well just do it, because it's not gonna let you go. It's gonna bother you. The time is gonna pass, and you're gonna end up doing it anyway. So just get that off the table early so that they can like start serving you. Um, I'll be seeing a lot of challenges. 2 minutes left. Great, fantastic. I'm almost out of things. One more thing, and then I'll give you a recommended reading list. So I've been seeing a lot of challenges on social media. I think that's all of them are a complete waste of time. Why? Because life is challenged enough. Spend your time doing a challenge that's actually going to serve you. One of the people who are closest to me challenged me to write a comedy feature in the last 2 weeks of 2019, when I really like just wanted to braid my hair and like disappear. But I don't be backing down from like the good stuff. So I was like, I would love to start 2020 with a fresh script. And I did it. It was intimidating, but I had to just plow through it, and I got it done. What condition is it in? Not the absolute best thing I've ever written, but it starts. I walked into the new year feeling like I had some fresh art on my hands. I had something new to talk about, something new to be excited about. And
A little bit. We'll see what's up. Yeah.
what happened? I'm back.
There was yep. You're good. You're good. The internet just kind of paused a little bit. You're good. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So if you don't have somebody around you that is gonna like challenge you and completely tell you the truth, like you have to be that for yourself. So like give yourself a week to crank out a script. Give yourself an unusually small amount of time to do whatever that goal is. And you probably will meet it, because it takes as long as we think it takes something to do. If we think that it's going to take a month to write a book, then it'll take a month. If you think that we can like write it in a week, it'll take a week. So whatever you think that you can or can't, either way, you're right. And that's how that go. Recommended reading list. Since I'm almost out of time. What I'm reading right now, Real Artists Don't Starve. I'm almost done with this. And it's not like it's particularly new information, but it's really, really nice to be affirmed in what you already think. The Hollywood Standard. If you're writing, I would say The Hollywood Standard. I needed that book like 10 years before it found me. I'm sure all y'all done heard of Save the Cat. And those are the ones that made my list. Oh, last thing. Very last thing. I feel like your mindset is even more important than your skill set. So invest 30 minutes a day in ingesting some type of positive content. For me, that takes form in like a sermon, or I write down my own like affirmations or things that I want to do in my life. I record my voice saying them and then I play them back for myself at least once a day. I'm looking at my vision board. Like my vision board is my screensaver on devices. Like constantly put, you know, what that trophy, whatever it is, or people that you want to work with, those images around you, so that it's not a to-do list at the beginning or the end of the year. Like it needs to be constant. It has to be you have to be like obsessive. It has to be that type of constant, because if it's not, the negativity is coming to you whether you want it or not. You have to be intentional about being positive, because up for it in this industry, folks. You're up for it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is that Tiffany Black, y'all. Unmute your mics and have at it. I know T Hayes is coming for you, so please stand by. Go ahead, y'all. Ask your questions. T Hayes, you got to go second.
Second, gotcha.
Hi, T Hayes.
And on the live feed on YouTube, Tyler is the only person we see because he's the only one that he's the only one that's using his video. Everyone else has their name placards up, so it's not showing up there. That's why folks might on the outside be able to see Tyler outside the Zoom, because he's doing that. But all the rest of you, feel free, everyone, go ahead and ask. Tyler, go ahead and ask your question.
All right. Well, Ms. Black, I think
on YouTube, Tyler's the only person we see because he's the only one who's using the video. Everyone else has.
That? Sorry, that was me. So sorry.
Oh, okay.
I got on the YouTube because I thought I needed to, but I had to mute that because it's like delayed. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Ms. Black. I think you spit a lot of facts. I enjoyed a lot of things you said. And I think we connected a little bit on the social media part. I personally have a distaste for social media, but I also realize it can be a valuable resource at many times, especially building your brand, which also I think is very important. Also networking. You can network with important people.
Right.
And as far as social media, I'm talking disregarding LinkedIn or something like that. I'm talking
right.
Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. So I want to know how I should use social media because, okay, let me give you some context. I want to be the greatest entertainer who ever lived. That's my ultimate goal in life. So if I were to do that, what would you say I should handle my social media with that?
If you don't want to be on social media, like if you want to have as little contact with it as possible, I would say don't worry about flooding them with it day to day. Use it like a website. Be searchable, be findable. Let your work be findable, and like whatever your bio is, let your page be exactly what you say. Don't get them no fresh outfits. Don't get them these sneakers. If you say that you are an actor, a writer, and a director, all I want to see on your page, even if it's just 3 posts, something you wrote, something you acted in, and something you directed. Like keep it real slim. My stuff right now, I feel like I got like less than 30 posts right now. It's very, very lean. And I'll post what need to be posted. I'll go ahead and delete it when it being expired. I'm cool with that. But I don't want like posting and going back and commenting and see who liked it, who didn't like it, who she acting funny. Like all of that stuff gets in the way, and it's stuff that you can be putting into your art. So rather than do all of that, tell them when something's done. I don't tell them when I'm going on auditions. I don't tell them when something's coming. I give it to them when it's done, because it just keeps all of the fuss down. Like you hear from me when you hear from me, and the people who are either looking for you or who need to find you, all of the good stuff will be right where they need it. They ain't got to go digging for it. Like nobody wants to go sifting through. And if that's what you want, fine. Like if I post an outfit and a cute outfit, it's gonna get the likes because that's what the girls are on the gram for. But I don't want you to care about what I'm wearing. I want you to know that I can act. I want you to know that I got a fresh ass script, and I want you to see some visuals that I directed. Period. Everything after that, I don't care.
That's right. Wow. Tell them when it's done. Excellent. Anyone else want to ask Tiffany any questions? What you can't see if you're on the YouTube channel is we have about 14, 15 people in here. Any of y'all want to chime in with anything? I think someone asked, Tony asked.
Oh, Tony.
No, I asked Tony, where did he go? Tony was sitting here. Tony Clomax is one of our faculty members here at Prairie View as well. And he and Tiffany know each other as well. And so he's very excited about being on the call. He was here just a moment ago and then he disappeared. I don't know where he went. We have a question. We do have a question. How did Tiffany feel? Oh, what made Tiffany feel she was ready to leave and move to LA? And how did you prepare? How did you prepare for your move to LA? And what inspired that move for you?
I had no idea whether I was prepared or ready or not. If I had taken the time to adequately prepare, I wouldn't have done it. But I moved at 22, so I mean, if I didn't go when I went, I'm not sure that I would have. Like, some things you just kind of got to jump. I would not advise that if you don't, like, I know I'm gonna land on my feet, but that's me. I trust me. If you somebody that gotta like have a certain amount of money saved up, like, I wouldn't over prepare. But the thing you need to have prepared is your mind. Like that, your mind is the most important thing you need to get on your side. It's not your mama, it's not a savings, it is your mind, and that needs to be strengthened. I got a lot of inspiration from The Secret. I saw The Secret within months before leaving. Every day up until I left, I watched The Pursuit of Happiness. Dreamgirls had a very big impact on me. I moved to LA August 23rd, 2007. So it was that chain of events. It was like Dreamgirls came out the Christmas of 2006. The Secret had came out later on that year. I saw it like right before I graduated, and then Pursuit of Happiness. I ran that till I got on the plane. I ran it, and
that's one of those movies that will inspire you to do just about anything. You feel like if that dude can come out on the other side, any of us can.
Anybody can. So, I mean, I do believe in savings. I moved to LA twice at this point. I did a 3.5-year stint in Atlanta. Glad I did it when I did it. Glad I made it out when I made it out. But the moves were very, very different. But when I knew both times, I knew it was just time to go. So you're not gonna have everything planned out. You might have to move without a job. But if you need that type of security before you enter this industry, you're doing the wrong thing anyway, because all of those things are fleeting.
Yeah. Tell us about your experience working on Bad Hair. I had the great fortune of seeing Bad Hair in January at the Sundance Film Festival. Bad Hair is written and directed by Justin Simien, who was the writer, producer, and director of Dear White People, both the film and the Netflix series. I'm excited to say that Justin is going to join us next week on the same forum. So it's very exciting. But Tiffany, I'm sitting in there and I'm watching this movie, and all of a sudden I see this face I've recognized. And I just start texting the person. Tell us about your experience working on Bad Hair.
Bad Hair was fun. I don't think I knew that it was Justin's project before we started working, because I just get auditions, and I used to like research every little thing and see what I could find, but I don't do that anymore, because like I did that when they were like casting for Hidden Figures, and I think that it like kind of psyched me out. I was like, Taraji, Octavia Spencer, like, and it got me hyping the wrong way. So like I don't go that far anymore. I focus on whatever this character is. And if I need to know more, I'll need to know more, then I will. But so I didn't know that it was his when I auditioned. It was a self-tape. I'm self-tape shawty. I don't mind going in the room, but I'm self-tape shawty. I most of my work I get from sending in a tape, but I like the comfort of working in my own incubator and with my reader that I done told how I want this delivered to me. So like I like being in control of my own environment.
Yeah.
But so that was a self-tape. I did not know it was his project. And I was supposed to work on that for like 2 days, but he ended up just like extending my shoot day. So like I'm in it like more than I say stuff, but I worked on it for like 2 weeks. It was so much fun. Like we shot up the street from my house. Like I was familiar with a few of the people, but I mean, who doesn't? Like I was working with Vanessa Williams. Like I didn't even know how many people were in that movie because my scenes all took place, you know, in one isolated area. But there's so many people. My God, it's like Blair Underwood, Usher's in it, Kelly Rowland. You got Lena Waithe, Justin himself, like all of the Dear White Children. It was fantastic.
All the Dear White Children.
It's fantastic. So I mean, like just being that close to Vanessa Williams, like I still be listening to her music. And you don't want to say nothing. So I mean, it was so much fun. But I mean, it's for me, it'd be a treat to be working anyway. Like you got to kick me off the set. So they wrapped me twice, and then like after they wrapped me, they called me back. They were like, "Oh, are you available to still keep working? Justin wants to put you in more scenes." I was like, "I'm there. Y'all need me to cook? What y'all need? I'm there." It was so much fun. My first time seeing it was Sundance too.
Oh, nice. How was your first Sundance?
Interesting. It was a lot different than it looked on Instagram. I'll say that. It was like I had an idea of what it was gonna be, and when I got there, it was like, oh, this is not what I saw.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
you know what I mean,
I'm with you. Yeah, this year was my second Sundance, and it's a little bit more rustic than
very rustic.
Yeah,
very rustic. But you know what I figured out?
What you do?
Park City, Utah is Whoville. That sounds like a joke, but Google it. It is true. And when I was there and I looked at like the architecture of the buildings, I was like, this looks so familiar.
Sure.
And the song came in my head, and I looked. Like, I'm not tripping. I looked it up. It was shot there.
Well, there you go. Does anyone have any final questions before I close out? We can have this conversation. Oh, Kristen Carter's here. Kristen, looks like you just unmuted yourself. Join us. Tell us what you got going on.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Hi. We can't see you. I can hear you.
So one, Tiffany, you're amazing, and I really enjoyed you in Love Is in particular.
Oh, thank you.
So question for you, what do you have going on? And Professor, let me know if you want me to talk more, but I'm curious to know what you have going on, what you have planned for after the pandemic, or if you can talk to us about your pilot that you just posted about on IG.
See, that's how you do it. It was very, very easy to find, right? All the things, very easy to find. What do I have after the pandemic? Well, what I was already working on, again, this has not like really disrupted my life. I would like to be filming something, but I can't, but that's fine. I'm actually working on my first exhibition. I did a project last year called Fluoxetine, and it was real avant-garde. It was, we had audio stuff, but it wasn't dialogue. It was real artsy, spacey, whatever. Shot it on the iPhone, asked people to come over. But I loved the piece, and people responded to it like a lot. So they kept asking me, were there going to be like more episodes? And the more I wanted to write, I kept writing, and the common thread and the things that I was writing was love, the intersection of love and mental illness. But the episodes were not consistent. They weren't like all in the same format. Or like one was a documentary. There's going to be some animation. Some of it has dialogue, some of it don't. Some of it only has dialogue. It's kind of all over the place. An anthology didn't feel appropriate. But a web series didn't feel appropriate either. So I figured the best way to present this body of work was to exhibition it as, just a pure artist. So that's what I'm working on. I'm looking into making it something that is like easily consumable despite where you are, but I gotta find, again, something that supports all of the mediums, because it's not just like it's visual, but it's not. These aren't web series. I'm actually not even calling them episodes. They're like more installations. But I'm out on a limb, like with my own art, and I have to see where it takes me. But I'm open to that. I've surrendered to it. Like I surrendered to being an actor and a writer. Like it just is what it is. So I finally, right before this Corona stuff, found some people found me, and we have been working on getting these things done. It's probably like 8 installations. I've gotten 3 done so far. I just heard from like my editor today for one of the installations. So I expected that to be landing around June, but since we can't film, 2 of them need to be filmed. The other 2 are like kind of curated. So hopefully I will have it to y'all by the end of summer, but it has been a bit pushed back, and I don't know if it's going to be like just in a physical space or if there's somewhere online that I feel like can adequately support it. But that's what Tiffany is working on, and that is exclusive information. Nobody knows that. But there will be more fluoxetine. And I mean, I've thought about just dropping what I have because, people are home watching stuff, but I don't want to compete with quarantine content. It's just not good. It's not good. So I believe in trusting your art and letting it tell you when it needs to come forward, and, being okay with not knowing exactly what it is while you're making it, but you will know when it's done. Like, let that story tell itself in the way that it wants to be told. So that's the journey I'm on with this particular installation or exhibition. So I'm looking forward to it. It's my first exhibition, but it's hard to even like try to explain it to people because I know what it sounds like. It sounds like I'm telling y'all that I want to be a rapper, and I know what that sounds like. Like I'm not crazy, but that's just where it is. It's not a web series, but it is a series of visuals. But that's what I'm working on. The script, the pilot, I actually did because I still be applying to like writing fellowships and stuff. But it's for Project Create. And if you guys do have a script, I encourage you to apply. I think the deadline has been extended to April 16th, but it's Project Create. Tracy Oliver, the writer of Girls Trip, is headlining it this year. So I just challenged myself to write a comedy pilot that I felt like, fit within the parameters of what they were doing with that program. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, I got a bomb script to do whatever I want to do with it.
Wow, I just wrote that down too to share with our students. I'll put that on the on everyone's e-courses as well as the PVMU TV website so that you all can, because I know you have scripts out there. Professor Clomax teaches a screenwriting class, and so I know you're churning out content, and we have you all writing during the production classes, and so be on standby for that. It's excellent that it's extended. Tracy talked about that some at ABFF last year. How just getting more content from writers of color. So this is fortuitous that you shared that with us. Kristen, what else you got going on? What other questions do you have? I saw your name down the list and I was like, is that for real? Like, is that her? I'm geeking out a little bit, y'all. Don't mind me.
No, I'm good.
I'm going to actually, after this call, I'm going to try to talk her into joining us also for one of these sessions, maybe later in the month in April. You'd want that. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I honestly want someone else to ask. I asked my question. I follow Tiffany online, so we don't know each other personally, but I really enjoy your content. So I don't have any other questions. I'm just here to support.
T. Hayes has a question.
Wait, I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Okay, so I do plan to move after graduation, and I remember you saying you were talking about how the jobs are fleeting in the industry. So what advice would you give someone who is trying to move fresh after graduation and is looking for jobs in the industry, and is also looking for jobs to just make payments for like rent and just to live?
I would say, like, whatever, if there's something that you can do that's like kind of effortless, it just doesn't take up a whole lot of time, like make that your survival job. For me, I think substitute teaching is great because they pay you decent, especially in LA. They pay you like more than $100 a day. They pay you decent. And if you can stand other people cheering that you can't whoop, then I would say go ahead and do that. It wasn't too good for Kerry Washington. It wasn't too good for Taraji P. Henson. And it wasn't too good for Tiffany Black. So if you finna get this cute little degree, like pay it forward. That's not a bad idea. I went into business for myself because, again, like I just feel like I'm sure I deserve more than that. And I don't mind social media. Back when I started my company, I actually like really, really enjoyed it. Now these folks is getting on my nerves, but I don't have to talk to anybody. Nobody comes looking for me. And all my money is direct deposit. Like some of my clients don't even know I moved from Atlanta. Like all my clients are Atlanta based. Some don't even know I moved to LA because I just show up when I need to be there. So I like that type of flexibility. I like to get my money while I'm getting my money. So, I mean, it just depends on like what you can do. I think it's easier to have a whole day job be like now because self-tape is so real, even, outside of a pandemic, like a lot of my stuff that I do is self-tape. Back in the day, you used to have to show up to these auditions, so you couldn't fake it. Like you can't be two places at once. So now that like self-tape is a real thing, you can kind of manipulate your own schedule. Like what's a day job? Because you can do self-tapes whenever. But so it's not like I just want to empower you. Like it's not as hard as it used to be. And you a real cute girl, like sell some stuff on Instagram. That's
Thank
real.
you.
Like, people be, you know what I'm saying? Like people will give you money, so even since this pandemic, I started making what was called like social media watch lists because I have a lot of friends that have acting credits, and everybody's credits are like spread on YouTube, Hulu, Prime, all these different platforms. We don't know where to find all these shows. So I made myself a graphic. Then I was like, oh, let me just like try for another people. And then Tasha Smith is one of my really good friends. I made one for her, and like it was a wrap after that. Like I made an easy $700 last week just making graphics. So like money, like I don't want to say like because I ain't got a whole lot of it, but money it's not as bad as it used to be because you don't have to show up somewhere all the time. But you're gonna run into trouble when you book. When you book, you gotta be there. So I would say if you can figure out a way to like find something flexible but reliable. For me, that looked like starting my own business and substitute teaching. I don't know what it's gonna look like for you.
Thank you so much.
Waiting tables wasn't my thing though. You're more than welcome. Do hair.
Tiffany, right? She said do hair. Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us today and for hanging out with us.
Oh,
and
hey, got a question.
Oh, we're about to lose the signal. We've been on here for an hour when it was supposed to be a half hour. But you know what? Go ahead, T. Go ahead quickly. Go ahead and knock it out. Yeah.
I was curious of what the quarantine content you were talking about is trash. I haven't seen it.
Like the skits, the TikTok videos that people are doing, like everybody turned into a DJ, a chef, and an actor and a dancer overnight. That's quarantine content because we sitting around not doing nothing. So watch me, watch me, watch me. Everybody going live. I'm not anxious to get into that number. I don't want to be lost in that. I don't want to be remembered for that. You got to present yourself how you want to be remembered. And you can like chase heat or you can be the heat. And I don't want to be mixed up in that foolishness. My stuff too good for that. So I'm not going to drop my hotness, even if it's done, until this is all over with. Because
period.
I'll wait. Y'all got it. I'm not going to do
it. Y'all got it.
I feel you. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh man. I remember when Tiffany wrote that letter at AMDA to get more Black people in her showcase. And it's a testament to someone who's so strong-minded and so self-invested in the greatness of what she can produce, that not only did she advocate for herself, but by extension, she ended up advocating for all the Black people in her program that year. And they put all the Black people in her graduating class in her showcase and then assigned me to direct it. And I can't think of another event or occasion during my time at AMDA that was as exhilarating, as soul-serving, as working on that showcase when I was there.
Good show. It was a damn good show.
I've watched it again in probably in the last couple of years.
have
I mean, every once in a while I kind of go back to it.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I have a copy of it. And I still kind of go back to it. And any one of you who've been to my office, if you've been to my office at Prairie View, the poster for that show is hanging on my wall right above the conference table. There's a poster that's called The Black and White Affair, and all the cast members from that show are in smaller photos around the larger artwork for that production. And I framed it and I hung it in my office because it's one of those things that still brings me joy. And you bring me joy, Miss Black. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm always rooting for you. You've never been short of just fantastic to watch and work with, and I just appreciate the time you gave us today.
Of course, this is so much fun.
Well, good.
Good moving forward. I want to be back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what, we may have to do this all over again a little later on, and really. I want
to watch the other people, not come back. Well, I'll come back, but I want to watch everybody else.
Yeah, come on in, okay. And I'm gonna try to coax Miss Carter to join us too a little later in the month as well. But yeah, I think this is a great answer to what we have lost in the way of production classes, and we have 4 professors who teach production classes, and we've just kind of been concerned that not having that hands-on, put your hands on the cameras, set up the lights, let's get on location, let's do the filmmaking piece of this. By not having that, have we lost the semester? And I think with a session like this with you, our students are still growing a foot an hour. Thanks to what you and everyone who's participating in this series has to offer.
Thank you. I'm happy to do it.
Hey,
YouTube channel. And yeah. Oh, sister can't hear me. That's it trying to cut off. All right, guys, thank you. Take care. We're going to end the call. We'll see you next time.